guys, what is up? It's Caitlin here. I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial today. I had a few requests in my Instagram DMs to do a drugstore makeup look, which I often do every day because I don't use a lot of high-end products. So I figured that this would be a fun video to do. So today I'm going to be using a lot of e.l.f. products and just a lot of products that you might not find in like a regular drugstore, but that you'll be able to find either online at e.l.f. or like a Walmart or a Target. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to moisturize my skin since I haven't done that yet. I'm just going to be using the Gentle Skin Cream Long Lasting Moisture by Equate. I do get this at Walmart. And then right after that, I'm going to go in with my SPF. My foundation does not have an SPF in it, so I'm gonna just take a little bit of the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Dry Touch. It's the Broad Spectrum SPF 70. And I really like this one because I don't feel like it sits on top of the skin. It really goes into the skin and almost acts as if like a little bit of a primer. And I have such dry skin that I like that it almost makes my skin look dewy after I put my foundation on. The next thing that I'm going to use is the first drugstore product. So this is the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer, and this is in the color or shade Universal Glow. So it looks like this, and then when you open it up, it looks like this. So it's like a putty, and I kind of take it with my finger and go around, and I put it straight into my T-zone. That's where I will accumulate the most oil. I'm not very oily, so I just put it on the places where I want my makeup to stay a lot. So just my T-zone and where my pores are. So it feels really great. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go in and prime my eyelids with my concealer. So I don't use this concealer on my under eyes, but I only use it to prime my lids. This is the Maybelline FIT ME Concealer in the shade 5 Ivory. Looks like this. So I'm just gonna take it and put a few dabs on my eyelids. I have very veiny eyelids, so I have to prime my eyelids just to make it all one universal color. And then I am just going to kind of stipple that into my eye. You can see, I don't want to brush it, but more stipple it and tap it into my eye. I don't ever want to tug or pull too hard on my eye since it's such delicate skin. I am using an e.l.f. brush. This is the Ultimate Blending Brush. So then after that, I'm going to go into the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder, and it looks like this. And I'm in the shade Light. It's just a loose setting powder. It's comparable to the Laura Mercier setting powder, but this is just a lot cheaper. And I'm taking a Morphe E23 brush, and I'm just gonna dab a little bit and just go over where I just put that concealer just to set it, so when I do put my eyeshadow on, it doesn't move. It stays all in place. So I go all the way up to the brow bone, into the inner corner, in circular motions. And then next I'm gonna go straight into eyeshadow. So today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Pumpkin Pie Shadow Set. So looks like these are the bite-sized shadows, and they're $3. I have, I think, almost the whole set. They have a rose gold set. They have, let's see what I have here. They have like a purpley set. So this is the rosy toned one. And then this is the purpley magenta one. And then today I'm going to be using the orange tones, the more neutral tones. So I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. I'm going to be using my Morphe M504 brush. And I'm going to take that first shade and I'm just going to go in circular motions in my crease. So after that, you can kind of see I go up pretty far, and I just make sure it's all blended. We don't want any harsh lines. And then I'm going to take a more narrow brush, and this is the e.l.f. crease brush. And I'm gonna go into that brown shade and put that on my outer corner. I'm gonna kind of dab it at first. It's very pigmented. Even though these shadows are $3, don't underestimate them because they're so good. So I'm just gonna put this in my outer corner and kind of create a V shape on the outside. This is all gonna blend really well once we put the lid color on. So it kind of creates that smoky effect. And then I'm gonna go into a flat brush. This is a beat up brush. I need to get a new one. I don't even know what this is called, but it's like a flat definer brush. And I'm going to use both of those shimmer shades. So I'm gonna go in with this one and just mix them together to make my perfect shade for my eyes. And I just dab it. And like I said, these are super pigmented, but you could spray them with like a Fix Plus from MAC, even an e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist, just to get your brush wet, and then these will go on way more pigmented than they already are, but I just don't think that it's needed. And then I am gonna go back into that big fluffy brush that we first started out with in that first color and just blend all the shades together in circular motions. And I'll do this on both eyes. And then I will go back into that dark brown on the outer corner and just define it a little bit more now that we have the lid color on. So that's what the eyes look like. I'm gonna now move into eyeliner. This is also Drugstore. I have been using this for years. This is my tried and true. I go through these a lot because I wear winged eyeliner a lot. And my camera is going to die. Well, this is the Maybelline Long Lasting Drama Gel Liner in Blackest of Blacks. Sorry guys, I'm back. My camera died. So I finished my eyeliner. So that was just the gel liner, Maybelline Blackest Black. And now I'm gonna go directly into my under eye. So I use the NYX Medium Dark Circle Concealer. So it looks like this. It's in a little pot. I haven't been able to find it in the drugstore since I bought it, but I did find this. And it's the exact same thing, it's just that color. So if you need color correcting, which I do because I have dark pigmentation underneath my eyes. So I just swirl it around and dab with my pinky since it's my lightest touch of a finger. And I go all the way up to the lash line, or where my lashes would be, just to help with the discoloration in the different pigment. Now I'm gonna go into my foundation. So I'm gonna be using a mix today of the Loreal Infallible 24-Hour Wear. I'm in the color 430. And I'm gonna mix it a little bit with the Covergirl Outlast Active 24-Hour Foundation. This actually does have an SPF in it of 20, but that's not enough for me. So I'm just gonna mix it with the other one, and this color I'm in an 810 Classic Ivory. So I'm just gonna take a little like that onto the back of my hand and a pump of this on the back of my hand, and we'll see how much that lasts me. I am gonna use a e.l.f. powder brush, but I like this for stippling foundation. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of it and just stipple it into my skin. I do use a yellow undertone foundation. I know that my skin has a cool tone to it because of the redness, but this counteracts the red and it just covers it up, and I don't like when like the rosacea and things show through my makeup. So that's why I wear that. And I'm just going to use the rest of what's on the back of my hand and stipple that on. I always try to bring it down my neck so that they're not two different colors, since I do use a yellow undertone. So my skin's looking pretty good. I'm gonna go into my concealer. So I will be honest with you, I'm not a fan of any huge, like big drugstore brand concealer. My go-to is the Tarte Shape Tape. This stuff is magic. But I am gonna just, since it's a drugstore makeup look, I'm gonna use the 16-Hour Camo Concealer by e.l.f. I'm just gonna use a dab right here. And then I'm gonna go back into the Maybelline Fit Me that I used on my eyes. I'm gonna use this on my chin and a little bit on my forehead, just a dab on my nose. I'm gonna go back into that stippling brush that we used to put on our eyeshadow, or the eyeshadow primer. So that e.l.f. Concealer is very bright. It's not one of my favorites, but I did get it in the shade Light Peach. So right after that's stippled on, I'm going to go directly into my e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder that I talked about earlier. I'm going to use an e.l.f. blush brush, and I'm going to tap that into the powder and tap off excess and lay it directly on there. So what this is going to do is act as an under eye brightener until you brush it away. I'm not a huge fan of baking. I know a lot of people love to do that, but I just stipple it on wherever I put the concealer. And it covers up my under eyes so well. And then I'm gonna put that wherever I put the concealer. So since I do have dry skin, I do recommend this e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder because it does not attach itself to dry patches. I have a lot of dry patches across my skin and it doesn't bug it, so that's amazing. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is go into my bronzer. So I'm gonna go into the e.l.f. Cream Contour Palette. I'm gonna use the two shades that I always use, this shade, and I'm gonna use a Real Techniques brush. It's like a stippling brush as well. And I just take a couple dabs, go back and forth, and then I go right into that cheekbone. So it's usually angled with the top of your ear into the corners of your lips. And I just try to define that line to give me some definition in my face. And then after that, I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush. I think this is by Eco Tools. And I'm gonna go into the Wet n Wild Take a Tip Roselle bronzer. And I'm just going to dab and just go over and bronze up my cheeks. Right where that cream contour was, and it almost sets the cream contour, which is super nice. I don't usually go into my hairline like other women do, just because I do wear a wig, so it kind of dirties up the lining of the wig. So after that, I go straight into my blush. This is the Luxie B14 blush brush, and I'm gonna go into Luminoso by Milani Cosmetics. This is my all-time favorite drugstore blush. I use this every single day, and it just gives a really nice glow to the cheeks. I hope you guys can see that on camera. It's just gorgeous. And it really adds some color to the skin if you need it like I do. And then before going into my highlighter, I go into my under eye again. So I kind of let that powder sit and do what it's gonna do. And I take a e.l.f. eye crease brush, but I don't use this for my crease, I use it for my under eye. And I'm gonna go back into that e.l.f. pumpkin pie eyeshadow set. And I'm gonna go into that first crease shade that we used, and I'm just gonna do that, go along my under eye, and just give it a little bit of definition so you can see the difference. It just brings the eye look together, but I like doing this last after I do my eyes, under eye, just because everything's set, nothing's gonna move now. And I just try to blend that in and connect it. And then I'm going to use a, this is a Bare Minerals brush, but I use it for my inner corner highlight and my eyebrows. So I'm gonna go into the color. Oh my God. Well, I can't show you it because it just obliterated in my hand, but this is the Flexitarian. I do like this. I'm gonna have to get some water and fix it. It is fixable if this ever happens to you. Sad that just broke. But before I go into that on my face, I'm gonna take it on this small Bare Minerals brush, and I'm gonna take a little bit of it and put this in my inner corner for the highlight. And look how much that just opens my eye. And it's gorge. That just happened, I can't. All right, now I'm gonna go into my brows. So I do have my brows microbladed, but once I have that, all the foundation and stuff on, I try to like not go over it, but it is what it is. So I'm just gonna draw them. Try to go darker at the ends and then fill it in. And lighter at the top. And then I take my pinky finger, which already has a little bit of color correcting on it, and it just lightens it up. I forgot to mention, this is the Instant Lift Brow Pencil by e.l.f. Now this should be sponsored by e.l.f., but it's not. So to clean up my brows, I take a small brush, if I can find it. It's right here. This is also an Eco Tools brush. Take my concealer and just take a dab of the concealer that's on the brush handle, and I just carve out the tail. And then to get rid of that like stark white, I just take that big fluffy brush that we used earlier and blend those up and around. And then I take that brush and go back into the highlighter and highlight my brow bone. If that's too stark for you, I just like a lot of shine. I love makeup, so that's just how I do it. And then if your brows still need just a little bit more definition, you can go back in after you have carved them out a little, just to see where extra pigment is needed. But that's all I do for those. For Drugstore, for high end, I will use Anastasia Dip Brow. I just think it gives it a darker look. But now it is highlighter time. So we're gonna go into that ColourPop Flexitarian. Hopefully it doesn't come apart in my hand. And I'm gonna just tap off the excess. And go in circular motions just to highlight that. And it falls right in line with that under eye, so everything should be looking really highlighted. I do add a tiny bit to my nose, and then a tiny bit to my Cupid's bow. I have really small lips, so once I put it there and I put some lip on, or lippy on, it just gives a good definition. It makes me look like I have a tiny bit bigger lips than I do. So I do like that. So we are gonna go into the Maybelline Super Matte Ink Lip. This is a liquid lip. I would compare this to the Anastasia Beverly Hills, but this is like $8 and it does not come off. So this is in the color Driver. I do usually mix these two colors. This is Driver and this is Seductress, but today I'm just gonna use Driver. So it comes with this like little doe foot applicator. It smells like cupcakes. I don't know if you guys like that, but it does have a scent. And you do not need a lot. Like, this product will last you a long time. And you will need like a makeup remover to get rid of it or take it off because it is so staining. And then I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. This smells like coconut, I love it. Another drugstore one that I like is NYX, but I ran out of that. And then I would consider this. I mean, I know it's a high-end product, but you can get this at Ulta for like 10 bucks. This is the Mario Badescu Facial Spray. I love this on a hot day. I bring this with me in my bag and I just freshen up with this. But today I'm going to use the e.l.f. And that is it for my go-to drugstore look. Everything will be linked below, but I hope that you guys like it. I'll zoom you in on my skin. If you guys like this video, just let me know and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.